Shalom, shalom, Yahshua Allah. Want to start off first things first, with all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakadash, which in the petty Hubaton, scraping the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you sister brothers living this truth, and shalom to you brothers and sisters that's listening and studying to show yourselves approved. Hey, Yahshua, I'm about to show you it's really going down, man. With Babylon the Great putting Donald Trump as the U.S. president, it has had very dire consequences. Esau Edom is exposed. When I say Esau Edom, I'm talking about the so-called white man. They're all the way exposed right now. And Donald Trump put a travel ban on certain countries. And you already know that they're deporting all kinds of immigrants that they say, kicking out, you know, the Ishmaelites, which is your Mexicans. They're kicking out Hamites, which is your Africans. They're kicking out all these other people, these immigrant groups. And these everybody's seeing this. All these countries are seeing this. And it's having a very big effect on the, you know, the world stage. Everybody views Babylon the Great America. So we're going to play some clips to see how people are reacting to the moves that Babylon the Great is making, trying to make America white again. It's having very bad consequences for them. So no further ado, let's check it out. And we're going to pull some precepts out because this is very biblical prophecy. Like Esau, he doesn't know it, but he's really exposing himself. And they, man, this is about to go bad for them, which is good news for us. So with no further ado, check out how people feel about Babylon the Great America.
It is anarchy in parts of Spain, France and the UK right now as migrant gangs from Northern Africa and the Middle East violently try to take over and intimidate innocent people.
So as America leads the way in cracking down on illegal immigration, there are signs Europe too may soon follow suit. Not because citizens in the old world have a problem with foreigners, but rather because just like in America, criminals are exploiting mass migration to prey upon the law-abiding while receiving government protection and benefits. And it looks like people in Europe are worried their entire continent may collapse if they don't figure out what to do soon.
Spain is currently in crisis, with ongoing clashes between migrant gangs and Spaniards following the violent bashing of an elderly man. And again in Spain, a man with a baby was callously threatened by a knife-wielding gang for simply walking down the street. In the UK, the situation is even more dire, with daily occurrences of violent bashings by migrant groups on innocent local victims.
Indeed, and the Interior Minister and the authorities are basically saying far-right groups are organising themselves online and actually coming in from outside to cause trouble.
The silent impact of mass migration on women's daily lives in the UK is a stark reminder of the point that we have got to in this country. Parallel communities with limited cross-cultural understanding.
Shoplifting is up 54%, theft on the person is up 41%, 70,000 phones were stolen from people in this city. And it's not just the crime that bothers me. London has also become a symbol for liberal progressives of how they'd like to see the rest of the country.
So after banning foreigners from a pool in Switzerland, it's now one of the most popular local attractions. And what nobody's talking about is the entire world is waking up to the reality that mass, unvetted immigration isn't making it a better place. Now, the television will tell you mass migration is a good thing and that borders are an unfair social construct that just keep people back. And although this messaging tactic has been used to manipulate the law-abiding for decades all over the globe into accepting things like amnesty and open borders, the reality is mass migration with zero vetting has consequences. And criminals love this, whether they're in Europe or in America. They're finding ways to exploit these open borders like you and I wouldn't even believe. And the shocking acts committed by violent gangs of young men only scratch the surface of what's really going on. And underneath the lawless aggression taking over the streets of once great societies, there's an underworld of human smuggling and modern-day enslavement which starts in the very migrant communities an open border was supposed to benefit. And that brings us to the real reason we're now seeing these massive anti-migrant protests across Europe. In order to accomplish mass migration, you've got to have a double standard, and people are sick of it. And this double standard is on full display in both Europe and...
Okay, that's enough of that devil. Because really what they don't talk about, understand is when you invade countries and run through them with the sword, there's consequences to that. Remember, Babylon the Great ran through the Middle East. Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, it ran through them. Those Ishmaelites, Ishmael, Elam, they had to go somewhere. Their country was war-torn. Where did they go? They migrated to Europe. So you caused your own fault, Esau, by using war. Same thing with dealing with the Mexican-American border. You run your drugs through the cartels, arm the cartels that are caught on, military equipment, and make them run your drugs, and it displaces the people. Where they got to go? They got to come to America. So Esau causes his own problem because he's dumb. And we're seeing the result of that. And this is all biblical prophecy. They're getting run by yellow and brown people because they're about to get bred out. The Lord about to clean them up. So I got another one. Check that out. From Mexico.
And what do the Mexicans think about all the Americans that are moving here into Mexico City? Where are you from?
Chicago.
And why do you think so many Americans want to move here to Mexico City? ¿Qué es su mensaje a todos los americanos?
Que por favor.
Mexico has erupted as anti-American protesters have taken to the streets as they are against American migrants or digital nomads moving into their city, as it has raised the cost of rent, and people believe it has gentrified some of the areas, which is true. A lot of the areas in La Condesa, Roma specifically, have been gentrified because of United States citizens moving to Mexico City because they can live a lot cheaper lifestyle while making US dollars inside of Mexico. So this is what happened when Mexican protesters took to the street against Americans moving into their city. And they started targeting American-owned businesses like Rip and Dip, and they also went to restaurants as they started breaking glass, and one person even had a knife as he was trying to break through the glass at one of these buildings. While locals, tourists, and Americans were inside of these restaurants and these shops, they were terrified for their life as these protesters seemed like they were going to attack. And this is what some of the protesters had to say.
Pues el día de hoy estamos luchando contra la gentrificación. La gentrificación es este proceso por el cual las personas originarias de los barrios se ven desplazadas por gente con mayor poder adquisitivo. Es decir, gente que viene de otros países, en su mayoría extranjeros, a querer imponer su cultura, sus precios y desplazar a los mexicanos, a los nativos de estas tierras.
Principalmente si van a venir a vivir a un país, tienen que contribuir a ese país, ¿no? La primera y la cuestión más sencilla es la migración legal. Ellos vienen aquí con visas o no visas, y todavía la cambio y el poder adquisitivo genera estos problemas de gentrificación y desplazamiento, ¿no?
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
And just a few months back...
See that? So you can watch more. There go the page, the name and all of that. I want to get into the scriptures now. And I want to show something. And we're going to start with right here, because this is what's happening. This is what's happening. On Psalms 64 and 8, and it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's happening. I know I worked at a certain job with some foreigners. They all went back to their own country. And they all went back to their own country talking mess about America. They said America is trash. You can't really make no money. They was like, I got lied to. They was like, man, y'all black people are cool. They told us in our country, y'all this and y'all that. And they was promoting me to come to their country. They said, you need to come up out of America, man. It's no good. The chick from Romania, eDUMB, she was telling me to come to Romania, telling me I have more time with my family. They don't work that hard. Stuff is cheaper. And then there was I think it was a Jake from Nigeria. He was promoting me to go to Nigeria. He said it's cheaper. I could stretch out the dollars we make here. I can get some land. It's better living. I won't deal with as much racism. They all promote me to go to their country because they said America is trash. They all came here with high hopes and dreams, and they said it was all a lie. And I'm like, you should have talked to some of us online. We could have told you that. So they show that precepts coming to life, man. Everybody's fleeing away. And you can see that you got Edomites fleeing into Mexico, and you got the Ishmaelites like, nah, get your butt up out of here. Don't bring that trash over here. Don't be gentrifying my place and raising up prices. You already messed your country up. You talk noise about Mexico. So don't bring your butt over here doing the same thing. So nobody really wants to be around Edomites. Edomites are now getting beat up everywhere they go because now they're trying to flee their own countries. Nobody really likes them. I heard about some mega hat wearing Edomites got beat up in Mexico. So Esau is greatly despised. He can't really go nowhere. You know, and he's already saying that his place is getting invaded. So now he got trying to go invade somewhere else. And it's at the point where, like I said, your own tongues fall upon yourselves. You got Trump talking noise about everybody. So everybody see an Edomite and automatically get angry at them. So now it really, at this point, it's starting to flip good to be a Jake. You know, we can go to other places in the world or go somewhere else, and people going to look at us as, you know, we're the problem. Everybody's starting to look at Esau, Edom as the problem. They can't really go nowhere. And them up here, you know, cracking down on immigration, kicking people out, and then you're going to try to take your butt to Mexico, and they're like, nah, we play that game too. We kicking your butt out. So everybody's not like, Esau's stock is at an all-time low right now. A real low, and that's prophecy, man. I'm loving that, man. All praise to, you know, Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua for that one. You know, and I'm going to read a little article too that's going to show that this place is really done. Check it out. This is U.S. passports dropped to 10th place in global mobility rankings. See? So that's backing the statements I'm saying. People ain't ready to come here no more. I'm hearing online people like, man, I ain't coming to America. I don't want to go there. It's violent. It's trash. You're going to be poor. Like, because everybody can now talk to each other on social media. And I look on social media, man, America's behind. Japan got a better looking stuff. China, Panama. I mean, just take a look. Yashua and then the dude at my job, a Vietnamese. You know, Moab, he said, look at Shingon, Vietnam. I looked at that, and it's like Miami Vice without the trash. So America's way behind. So check it out. It says, United States passport has fallen to 10th place in the latest Henley Passport Index, which measures global travel freedom based on visa-free access to destinations worldwide. It says, according to the quarterly report, Singapore now holds the top position, with the citizens able to access 193 out of 227 global destinations without requiring a visa. The U.S. passport provides access to 182 countries and territories, placing it alongside Iceland and Lithuania in the rankings. The decline represents a significant shift from the U.S. position a decade ago. United States held the #1 ranking in 2014. You hear that? Used to be #1 in 2014. Not anymore. Now you're number 10. It says, but has experienced steady decline in passport strength since then. The Henley Passport Index tracks real-time data on visa-free access for 199 different passports to 227 travel destinations, providing a measure of global mobility and diplomatic relations. So, U.S. is down, homie. And I can just see that by looking at everybody on social media. You know, I look at other stuff on YouTube. I look at other countries. See how they doing. See how they feeling. And America has a bad rap right now. A very, very bad rap. Nobody wants to come here. They even say tourism is down in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is hurting right now. And the thing is, man, the Babylonians, the Americans, they broke. And then, like, say if you, like, in another country, you got universal health care. You know, you in China, you in Russia, because Tucker Carlson went over to Russia. They eat better than us. Everybody eats better than us. We got the worst food. If it wasn't for Jake being here, our food would be disgusting. If you think about it, y'all, so if it wasn't for Issachar, Levi, and Judah, and Benjamin, like, the food would be straight trash over here. Because we got GMO everything. Other countries eat better than us. They have natural food. Because Esau ain't over there, you know, conducting his science experiments. So, what's the point I'm trying to make? Oh, yeah. Don't nobody want to come over here. They're like, why? I got universal health care, better food, and everybody's starting to see we got worse food. The crime rate is through the roof. The economy is trash. There's no reason to come to Babylon the Great. She is no longer made tender and delicate. The Lord has made good on the prophecies and the promises he made, and this place is in total decline. I even looked up, it was one YouTube telling me, man, there's a lot of people getting their passport and they leaving. A lot of Jakes is going to Africa. Now, you know, I'm not going to go nowhere, you know. I don't think so. I'm probably be here, you know, the Lord said, occupy till I come, but a lot of people are leaving. The worldly two-thirds are leaving. Why? Because there's nothing here. It's trash in Babylon the Great. There's nothing here for you, man. Racism's at all-time high. We just seen a Jake get snuffed out in Florida for not having his headlights on in the daylight. You know, you get beat up over here. Then you got to think, too, a lot of Ishmaelites ain't going to come over here no more. You get jacked up, racially profiled. You know, Ephraim, they're all looking like, oh, nah, this ain't the place to be. Say if you a Moabite, a Chinese man, Asian, you ain't going to come over here. You might get jacked up by ICE. So why? You might as well stay in your country. Other countries' economies is coming up. America is on the downswing. So therefore, this country is not great anymore at all. Ain't no reason to come here. This ain't the destination spot. It's best you go to Dominican Republic. Go somewhere else where it's beautiful. This place is a trash can, man. It's trash everywhere. You look at Babylon the Great. They don't use tax money to clean up no more. So I'm just seeing the effects. And it's all to the Lord. And he's making Esau do it to himself. Nobody told you to run around with ICE and yank people out. And you put Donald Trump as president, say all this racist stuff and mess your economy up. Esau did that himself. So he destroying himself. But they're so dumb, they're going to lash out at us, Yasharallah. So I'm going to leave off with this right here. Because this is what's happening. This precept right here is happening right now. This is Jeremiah 50:16. It says, cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handled the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they should turn everyone to his people, and they should flee everyone to his own land. A lot of people that's from other countries going back to their country. The sower has been cut off of Babylon, man. They ain't got nothing good over here. You know? Why? Because of that oppressing sword. Esau, man, he's obnoxious. Nobody wants to be around these hillbilly Edomites. You know, they're dumb. And you can see the Lord is making sure you see they dumb. They mega. They wearing their true colors. They wear red hats. You know, that's their true color. And they showing it, man. They jumping on Jake. Jake getting lynched. Jake getting thrown. They really doing trafficking, human trafficking. If you think about it, ICE is doing illegal human trafficking. They could snatch you up without due process and ship you anywhere they want to. So why would you want to come here and be subjective to that? That's why tourism is down. Then they over here scratching their head. Tourism is down. We losing money. I'm like, I wonder why. Ain't nothing appealing about this place. We just deal with it if we was born here. But if you from another country and you living good, why would you come to America? Usually people come to America to make money. You can't do that no more. So you might as well go where you was at. Stay where you was at. So that's the Lord cutting off the soil from Babylon, man. And we getting ready for that harvest. You know? And like you could say, everyone is turning to his own people. Everybody going back to their culture. They're going back to their own land. As I work with some people, they going back to, they done went back. They done left. They told me they're going to stack a couple checks and they out of here. I look up, they gone. And they telling me, you need to come too. I'm like, hey man, I got to stay here and fight this spiritual battle. But that's what's happening. The other countries, like, hey, Esau's not welcome in these other countries. They going to start attacking them. This way, same way Esau attacking other people over here. It's a tick for tack type of thing. That's when looking at Esau like, your country will never be great again. You not coming back up, homie. You're not. You done with. You out of here, man. So we just gonna let the Lord cook. And you know, continue to cook these devils. Because they're done. And we're gonna stay locked in with the Lord, man. So with that being said, you know, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Shah. And I'm going to say, Kwam Yashar Allah. And stay locked in because Yahweh Shah is quickly on the way. Shalom.